Errol Spence, Shawn Porter. Let's get to it. Errol Spence, man, the guy to me is all around. Jab, combinations, footwork when he needs to, body blows, power shots, everything in the arsenal that a fighter must have. Errol Spence has it. Shawn Porter, let's get to what he has. Shawn Porter, he has the speed. He has the power. Stop, 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 girl. He has the power. No, 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 no. Sit. Sit. No. 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 This is what I got to deal with. This is what I got to deal with. Everybody, Chanel, everybody. Okay? All right? All right? No, 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 no. But anyway, Errol Spence, Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter, he doesn't move off the jab, but he can throw the jab. Shawn Porter has power. Shawn Porter does not, to me, put together his combinations as he should, but he has the combinations. The problem with him is his footwork is terrible, and Shawn Porter, I would say, yeah, his footwork is bad. Really, his technique is just, he has a weird technique. We've seen him get loose a few times. The last one, I would say, where he fought Ugas, he showed where he can actually try to stand in and box. But over time, throughout that fight, he ended up resorting back to being the same Shawn Porter that we all know him to be. The guy that's going to, try to rough you up, the guy that's going to try to get in close and try to make it a rough, tough, and dirty fight. That's Shawn Porter. I haven't seen him be able to change gears and actually commit to whatever gear that he's changing into. So that's his problem. And with him not being able to do that, I just don't see him being able to defeat Errol Spence without being able to change that gear and being committed to that gear, to the gear that he's going to change into. Now, Errol Spence, we saw him be that same guy throughout the fight that he had with Mikey Garcia. And maybe that's because he had confidence that Mikey wasn't going to be able to hurt him. And that always plays a factor into fights like this, to where, if a fighter knows that another guy can't hurt him, then they can keep doing the same thing. So he was able to box on the outside. He was able to utilize his jab. He was able to go to the body when he needed to. And Mikey Garcia wasn't able to stem off the attack, and it was brutal. It was a brutal attack to his body. And you could clearly see that it was affecting Shawn Porter. You can clearly see that it was affecting Mikey Garcia throughout the fight, and it was no need for Errol Spence to have to knock him out in that fight. And I just don't think that it was a good look. It would have been a good look for Mikey Garcia to go out like that after giving Errol Spence his position, his current position today, in which he's become a megastar, a superstar. I would say a superstar. He would be a megastar if he goes to the next level and ends up having to take on somebody like Canelo, which I believe that he should. I believe this fight should have happened some years back. But because Errol Spence is a guy that I think that his power is going to translate to the next division. But that's another topic. I'm going to try to get through what I'm saying in a few minutes. But I got Errol Spence for this fight. I can't pick Shawn Porter. I think Shawn Porter has the opportunity to possibly catch Errol Spence coming in, because Errol Spence have some issues sometimes. He gets a little overzealous at times. To me, he's controlled, but he has moments in his fights where he becomes overzealous with what he's doing, and he ends up leaving himself open and taking some shots he don't need to take. He's not a guy that moves his head much because he doesn't have to. So when you get used to doing things a certain way over time, that starts becoming habitual for you. And I think that if he doesn't work on that in these so-called big fights that he's taking so far, then it's going to be difficult for him to start making adjustments later on in his career, and his fights are going to get increasingly tough. So I think that he needs to start putting himself in positions in these fights, especially when he knows that he has the upper hand. He needs to start putting himself in those positions anyway. And I would notice that from fighters, from good fighters, but I can use Floyd as an example, because he was one of those guys that can kind of do what he wanted to do in the ring when he wanted to do it, because he already knew that he had a sustained attack on these guys that he was bringing to them. He already knew that these guys couldn't, they never had a plan B and C. They would never be able to make adjustments the way that he can make adjustments in the middle of a fight. They would always process what they went over in training camp, and when those situations didn't present themselves, or Floyd didn't present it to them, then they were thrown off for the entire fight. And that's what happened in the Pacquiao fight. They thought, Floyd was going to be a certain way, and he ended up bringing the fight to Manny Pacquiao in many different spots in the fight. He did it in spots. He didn't do it over the course of time throughout the fight. He didn't do it for like 3 or 4 rounds or whatever. He picked his spots in the fight when he wanted to do a certain thing, and you can't prepare for that. So that throws you off if you're a fighter that has to do things in rhythm and have to do things a certain way, and that's what threw Manny Pacquiao off. So that's my thing, man. If Errol Spence doesn't find a way to adjust to what Errol Spence is doing, and also be able to, insert what he's worked on in the fight, sort of imposing his will. If he's not able to impose his will, the things that he worked on and the things that he wants to do, even if Errol Spence is not giving it to him, if he's not able to do that, it's going to make for a tough night for him, and it's going to be night. It's going to be night. So he has to find a way to insert what he's worked on, and not wait for Errol Spence to show him signs that these things are going to be a possibility for him to do, and that's where watching film sometimes, it just doesn't do you wonders. It just doesn't work, because you're watching film, and you're watching the things that he did to adjust to another fighter, to adjust to another fighter, and it's not you. It's not you. He didn't have to do that against you, or he might not have to do that against you. So you just can't prepare for it. So I listened to Kenny, and Kenny was saying, "Oh well, we're expecting Errol Spence to come towards us." Wow. I mean, listen at that. Jeez. Excuse me, guys. Just got finished having my beer and my cigar, so But anyway, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I said it more than enough on what you guys should be looking at during the fight. I just think that Errol Spence is gonna control this fight with his length. He's gonna control this fight with his ability to put combinations together to the body, and he's gonna utilize the jab well throughout the fight, and that's gonna stem off. Stop it, girl. Stop it, girl. That's gonna stem off. Stop. That's gonna stem off. Sorry, guys. I mean, just look at her. This is what I got to deal with every day. Look at her, just spoiled. But that's pretty much what's gonna be a problem for Shawn Porter if he can't stem off the attack, and he already knows that Errol Spence is going to go to the body. So that's going to be a problem for him throughout the night. But anyway, I got Spence. Holla.